Hey, what's going on? Welcome in. Locked and low to get you ready for the week. Big news. Christian McCaffrey, a San Francisco 49er, but will he play today? We'll talk about that and much, much more. My co-host, Lando, what's going on?
Mac, I am doing good. Excited for week 7. Big news, obviously, with McCaffrey. We'll talk about that. I mean, he's expected to play, but should he be playing in your lineup? We'll go over everything today. Welcome into New Snap Army member Brandon Phillips. What's up, Claire? Slee coming in here. Claire's going to the Chargers game. That's awesome.
Let's
we got
go.
Bert, Easy Daddy in the chat. Friendly reminder to give us as much details as you can, whether you're projected to win or lose, your scoring settings, if it's a flex spot or start, all that kind of matters. What's up, Paz, in the chat? Love you too, my man. Appreciate y'all. We got some stuff to go over here, some outs, some expected to plays. Mac, how are you doing today?
I'm in a world of hurt right now. We just got the news that DeAndre Swift is indeed out. So I guess it's another week of firing up Jamal Williams with confidence, but I would rather be putting DeAndre Swift in my lineup if I'm going to be completely honest. But I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah. Make sure to toss a like on this video. It really helps us out if you want to share to your friends. Just a reminder, we answer every single question. So y'all don't need to spam the chat. We'll get to everyone, and it should be a fun day today.
Yeah, it should be good. Let's go through just some detailed ins and outs, just some basic stuff, kind of top people on the week. Declared out right now. DeAndre Swift, we just got the news. If you have Jamal Williams, put him in your lineup. This game against Dallas should be a lot of fun. We've seen Detroit put a lot of points up on the board. Dallas pass rush is one of concern, but I do like the potential volume for Jamal Williams, so I'm starting him.
Yep.
J.K. Dobbins, out 4 to 6 weeks, and it's probably going to be closer to 6 before you get him back. And by that time, does it really matter?
Yeah, it's really tough. You're looking at start of the fantasy
season.
Playoffs. It's a lost season for J.K. Dobbins. Pour one out. If you need to drop him, I think you can. If you have an IR spot, hopefully you just throw him on there and don't worry about it. But tough one for J.K. Dobbins. I was really excited for that kind of breakout season, but it just never came to fruition.
With this news of J.K. Dobbins out 4 to 6 weeks, it begs the question, who is the starting running back there in Baltimore? Who do you want on your fantasy lineups? I told you guys this week on the waivers, don't go out and spend your priority or your fab on Kenyon Drake. Get a guy like Gus Edwards instead. I still hold that sentiment very near and dear to my heart. Do you agree? Because I did the waiver show solo. I want to get your thoughts on Gus Edwards over a guy like, or is it your old boy, Justice Hill?
Justice Hill. I think it will be this week, especially. It's going to be a bit of rotation. I don't have confidence in anyone. So this week, Kenyon Drake is not starting. Neither is Gus Edwards. But I think the long term, it's going to be Gus Edwards. We love to see that he's coming back off of IR, but I want to see this play out. So we'll look at the snap share. We'll probably do a what to do with the Baltimore backfield coming Monday or Tuesday.
A must. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll look into that going forward. But this week, I'm going to sit both of them, but I do want Gus Edwards long term. So if he's available on your waivers, snatch him up right now and just hold him if you can.
Speaking of holds, if you're holding Cam Akers, you should continue to do so. He is a healthy scratch for the Los Angeles Rams, and he'll probably be that until he's traded. So we'll see what happens with Cam Akers. We thought potentially that with Akers up on the block, McCaffrey up on the block, the Rams would mortgage more of their future to go and get Christian McCaffrey for another push, but their division mate, the 49ers, are in on that train before them. So good on the 49ers. But Cam Akers, you can't drop him. You gotta hold out. Nobody on your waiver wire has the skill and potential that Cam Akers does.
We got 18 people watching right now, 20 people now. We will get to your questions. Get them in there. We answer every single one. Make sure to toss a like on the video if you can. Share it out to your friends. We appreciate it. If you do want your question answered right away, even while we're doing the ins and outs, toss a super chat and we'll get to your question right away. But we will answer everything regardless. So hang out with us. It's the stream is just starting. We appreciate everyone coming in. Monkey D, Tate, Finn, Gary McCord, appreciate y'all coming in. We will get to your questions in the way they were asked.
Josh Palmer is out. Keenan Allen is extremely questionable, going to be a game time decision. I guess the question is, how much confidence do you have in a guy like DeAndre Carter this week, Gerald Everett? Who are you going to think gets the workload?
Yeah, with all these questionables, I mean, if you had a Jeff Wilson, you're relying on him. I'd rather flex a DeAndre Carter type guy. Same with Clyde Edwards-Helaire now being deemed the backup. I don't want to start either Pacheco or Clyde, so I'd rather maybe start a high upside DeAndre Carter. He gets return yards, so maybe if you in a league that rewards return yards, that's even great.
Going deep on that one, yeah.
Even better, but I think he is now in consideration for like wide receiver 36-ish range flex play.
Russell Wilson is going to be out, and I think this one lingers. I think it's going to be probably 2 to 3 weeks for Russell Wilson before we see him back, but does it really matter? Because he hasn't been in my fantasy lineup for at least 3 weeks now.
What happens if the Broncos offense starts looking good, Mac? What happens then? We're in a world of hate now.
With Rippin? Yeah, we'll see.
We're in pain if the Broncos look good.
Breaking news, the Panthers have listed their starting running back as Chuba Hubbard.
Oh, that's why that Foreman was being dropped.
And I don't really necessarily agree with that. The only upside that Hubbard has over Foreman is the pass catching ability, but I do think it's going to be a committee approach. There's no way they feature one, 80% of the time. It's just not going to happen. And even if they do, they're running the least number of offensive plays per game in the league. There's nobody worse. I mean, and if you don't believe me about that, if you've held DJ Moore has a 25% target share. And if I told you that at the beginning of the season, you'd be like, yeah, I expect that. And I think he'll be serviceable on 25%. They're just not throwing the football. It's crazy.
What are you doing? If you picked up Foreman, Mac, what are you doing? Because I think a lot of people thought he would slot into the number one role. Are you starting neither as well, like a Baltimore situation?
Depends. Like, would I start McCaffrey over Foreman this week? Yes. And Hubbard. Like,
sure.
Absolutely. Both of the Denver running backs, I think, is like a really good question. Is it Latavius Murray? Is it Melvin Gordon? We don't really know.
That's another one too. Like that, the Denver backfield's a complete and utter mess. So there's a lot of really bad situations right now in the NFL. If you thought you had an every week starter potentially, and now you've got neither in a lot of cases.
Darren Waller also out in a smash matchup against Houston. If you've rostered Darren Waller, I'm sorry. I'm in on that camp. It's been a really disappointing season so far, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
On bye, really tough bye week this week. You're without the Vikings, Bills, Eagles, Rams, probably one of the most fantasy relevant bye weeks in the entire season, but you're without guys like Jefferson, Diggs, AJ Brown, Cooper Kupp. It's just horrendous. Even if you just stop it right there, it's a brutal list, but you factor in their running backs and quarterbacks on top, and it's like, damn.
I just noticed we put Cam Akers in there as a healthy scratch, but they're also on bye.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Well, that's just a more so bring up like what you do with him. But
it's if you have these players on bye, you're probably in a good spot. You're probably 5-1 or something. And
my reason for putting him in there is that I didn't want people to drop him because it was his bye week or because they're growing frustrated with him. I want you to hold him.
Gotcha.
Because if he gets traded and you dropped him, you're going to be running to the waiver wire to spend an outrageous amount of fab to get him back on your team. So just don't do that. Nothing crazy here. Expected to play Dak Prescott making his return against Detroit. Really, really good matchup. Jonathan Taylor against the Titans as well. T. Higgins is going to play again at New Orleans. Should be a potential bounce back game for him. I saw today he had the shallowest average at the target all season last week. It was the Jamar Chase game. We could see things a little bit different today for T. Higgins. He doesn't play New Orleans, though. He plays the Jets. So I got to change that. And then Lockett, Mark Andrews are both expected to play, but I did want to spend just a little bit of time here on Christian McCaffrey. If you have him on your team, you are likely starting him, but where do we draw the line this week on Christian McCaffrey? That's what I want to talk about.
Yeah, I think he's right around I think he's outside the top 12 in my running backs because you have some really good
Agreed.
options here with Eckler, Barkley. I mean, Leonard Fournette's been awesome. You're not starting McCaffrey this week over those guys. Even a guy like Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, Breece Hall, those guys I kind of prefer over McCaffrey this week, as bold as that may be, because they have
Okay.
a guaranteed workload.
So let's play a quick game here.
Sure.
Christian McCaffrey or Damian Pierce at Vegas.
That's really that. I mean, Dameon Pierce has looked great. I think Dameon Pierce touches the ball more, but we know how good McCaffrey's going to be. I think that relies on if you're down in a matchup, you play McCaffrey. If you're up, I think Dameon Pierce has the volume to be just fine this week.
Christian McCaffrey or Ezekiel Elliott versus Detroit.
Oh man, that is. I think Zeke's gonna have a really big game. I'm also thinking that Pollard could as well. I'm almost hedging like Pollard has the potential because of that great matchup, but there's in the range of outcomes that Zeke could as well. It's really tough for me. I would probably play Zeke over McCaffrey.
Aaron Jones at Washington or Christian McCaffrey.
It's funny. I've got Aaron Jones ranked higher, but I'm just so concerned with.
I would play Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I'd probably do as well.
A tougher one, Ramondre Stevenson versus Chicago. Damien Harris is expected to be back.
Yeah, when I did my rankings, I was bold with Ramondre I had him at top 7 this week without Damien Harris. But now that Harris is active, I think I would just go McCaffrey.
A tougher one, Najee Harris at Miami or Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey all day.
David Montgomery at New England on the Monday night.
Yeah, I would just go McCaffrey here.
I would as well.
Really tough matchup for Montgomery.
Yeah, I would as well. I agree with Hall and Walker. I'll throw one more at you. Jamal Williams solo against the Cowboys or Christian McCaffrey.
That's really tough as well.
It's a tough one, man.
He's in the similar vein as Dameon Pierce to me. He's going to get a ton of work. You've seen him on the goal line. He looked really good with Swift out. So, yeah, I think it's probably man, I don't know.
Probably Jamal.
I'd probably just go McCaffrey for the upside.
Yeah, you got to think that he's just going to be used inside the 20, which could be he could just get high value touches, but what those equate to is a mystery. It won't be a volume play though.
Yeah. All right, shall we get to the questions? We got 22 people watching. Toss a like on the vid. We get to every single question today, and we're going to try to get to your questions, even at the bottom of the chat, as soon as we possibly can.
Good to have that conversation because we haven't really spoke on air about the McCaffrey trade since it happened. So it's just nice to get some of that going. Friendly reminder from Eric, scoring format, positions, projected to win or lose, list of players, as much info as you can give, the better advice we can give, starting off with our guy, Snap Army member Eric Zubert. Number 1, Geno versus the Chargers or Tua?
Starting off with a spicy one. You are on record as a Tua hater, Mac, but Geno Smith looked like he came back down to earth last week. What happens?
Yeah, I think Geno's in a good spot to bounce back. I'm still probably going to go Geno.
Geno just to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, the one person we didn't really talk about today is Jalen Waddle, but he's also questionable, much like Keenan Allen.
Game time.
Yeah, it's game time.
I think I start Waddle this week. I know he's been banged up, but I think I've got relative confidence with Waddle.
Yeah, I'm going to start Geno Smith over Tua.
Cool. I'm into it.
Yep, that's where I'm going. Number 2, DeAndre Carter versus Seattle or Wan'Dale versus the Jags. Nico Collins versus the Raiders. Chase Claypool. Okay, full PPR projected to lose.
Okay.
Wan'Dale would be interesting. I'd like to see what he can do in a larger snap share because he was under 30% snap share last week and still had 3 receptions and got into the end zone. So I think he has probably the most potential in a very needy wide receiver offense. So I'd probably go Wan'Dale here for the largest ceiling. Second choice would probably be Nico Collins.
Yeah, I'm not chasing the Claypool big game. No. I think Deontay Johnson is the only one to potentially start in that matchup. I'm not gonna and Freiermuth, I guess, if you're tight end needy. But yeah, I'm good with. I would go probably Wan'Dale and then DeAndre Carter next for me.
Last one, full PPR: Caleb Huntley or Isaiah Pacheco. I'll just take the shot on Pacheco. I don't
I'll
really
take
want.
Pacheco as well in that
Should I
matchup.
start somebody from the Chiefs or the Falcons?
That's what it comes down to.
Right.
And I'll go Pacheco there.
Isaiah Pacheco, what are we doing with him? Probably a good name to just talk about for a minute or two here. I personally don't believe it matters who quote unquote starts.
Yeah,
They're all going to touch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's been Clyde the starter, everyone's gotten a piece of the rock. Clyde Edwards-Helaire could do what he did at the beginning of the season on limited touches, get into the end zone, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's Clyde. Like, the real thing for me is it's nobody. I don't want to start anybody from this offense. And if I do, I'm just hoping for a touchdown, because there's no way that Isaiah Pacheco walks away from this game with 20 carries. It's just not going to happen. They don't run the football.
I tend to agree. They're all going to get a 20 or 35% kind of market share in that offense. And it's going to be whoever gets in the end zone or who gets the targets.
Sure.
If you're in a PPR league. So I think next week it's an interesting what to do with question, what to do with this Kansas City backfield. I'm looking forward to watching and see what happens. Pacheco looks like the best running back to me. He's explosive. He looks really good.
McKinnon's look good too, though, at times. McKinnon's look good too at times.
He does. He's a great pass catcher. So
yeah.
So yeah, for now, Drowsy, we're gonna just sit all the Chiefs unless you have a situation like Easy does there with one of those.
His question is sort of wrapped in this start sit question. Full PPR for the running back 2, Travis Etienne, James Robinson, or now Isaiah Pacheco.
Yeah.
I don't see how you don't start Travis Etienne with him slowly taking over snap share touches from James Robinson.
I think it's all just a messy question there, Drowsy, and it's tough. It depends on a touchdown. That's where if J-Rob gets a goal line work, last week it was Trevor Lawrence that got in there. It could have easily been J-Rob, and they were thinking about him differently, right? But I do think that Etienne shows the most explosiveness. He's like Max said, he's slowly getting that work. So for the upside play in a full PPR league, I think Etienne would be the play.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah.
2 quarterback league, Davis Mills or Justin Fields this week. Fields going up against New England, and Davis Mills going up, not going up against New England, going up against Las Vegas. That is the night game tonight, correct? The Vegas Raiders. I believe they are the night game.
Could be. I don't recall at this very second, but
I'm going to go with Davis Mills against the Raiders. I don't really want much to do with Justin Fields, especially going up against New England too. You want to talk about a team that can just game plan for any team and take away their strength. I don't really know what the Bears' strength is. It's probably Justin Fields' legs, but people's track records against New England is not good for a good, competent quarterback. When it's Justin Fields, you have to think a couple turnovers are coming, some sacks.
They play 4:00. The night game is Steelers-Dolphins tonight.
Okay.
But I don't know really how Chicago scores in this game. They'll
probably win.
They moved the ball really good. Justin Fields missed some wide open players last week, and I mean it was on full display. But I think Davis Mills is probably the answer there.
Which is crazy.
I think Justin Fields, he'll probably rush for 60 to 70 yards. And if you just hope he gets in the end zone somewhere, but I just don't. It'll be garbage time for the Bears.
Start 2: Raheem, David Montgomery, Damian Harris, Kenyon Drake, AJ Dillon, Noah Fant, or Daniel Bellinger, Ayuk, or Mike Evans. Damn, Paz, are we starting your whole team?
What's going on, Paz? Thanks for coming in, my man. You're always here for us.
Okay, I'll start with Raheem Mostert. I'm gonna start him.
You're gonna start him, okay?
Against the Steelers, and then I'm also gonna start David Montgomery.
Yeah, that's where I lean as well. Despite the bad matchup, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be the hardest 8 fantasy points you'll ever see at a Montgomery.
Damian Harris is a really tough one for me. Like, I would be willing to start him over any of the Ravens running backs, any of the Denver Broncos, and probably any of the Chiefs. Outside of that, there's not too many guys I would start Harris over. I do still think that he can get red zone work.
Yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed the Ramondre show while it lasted.
Oh man,
I don't know how much it's going to get worked in. Maybe he just sits on the bench. I don't know. The rumors of them trying to trade Damian Harris were abundant this like offseason, or like that Ramondre would take over the backfield. But yeah, Harris is just to sit until we see the kind of workload or split they get.
Yeah, I'm also going Daniel Bellinger over Noah Fant and Mike Evans over Brandon Ayuk. I mean, Brandon Ayuk had one good game.
Yeah.
Let's not chase that.
Not going to chase it yet. No.
We love you too, brother.
Elite.
Bucks RTV, PPR start Ramondre or Zeke. Appreciate y'all once again. I think it's Zeke this week.
It is Zeke for me as well.
If Damian Harris wasn't there, much closer, but with him returning, it's not looking good. Full PPR, Waddle or Godwin, and running back Breece Hall versus Aaron Jones. Go Godwin with Waddle questionable. We could see him limited today. And then Breece Hall or Aaron Jones is really, really close.
Really close. If you just got to go off trends, you just start Breece. You start Breece every week. Aaron Jones, we know he's got that 3 touchdown upside, but I mean, he hasn't done anything recently to make us believe that he can do it again.
Breece Hall just has the pass catching work, which is unbelievable. Denver's just probably one of the hardest matchups, but really he's been so hot. I saw something on Twitter the other day that as a starter, Breece Hall's averaging 132 yards a game and a touchdown. It's just like, it's outrageous.
He's so good. He might be, I was talking to Mac this week. He might be the fan or the dynasty RB1 really, really soon.
There's a case.
If he isn't already.
There's definitely a case to be made. Yeah. Claire on her way to the LA Chargers game. Enjoy.
Hopefully you're still here, Claire.
Have a pint for us.
Yep.
Who do I flex? Ramondre with Harris back or Waddle, who's been a bit hobbled, but with Tua back? I mean, I would definitely lean Ramondre, I think.
I think so too. I think I lean Ramondre. We're just going to temper our expectations for Waddle right now. Yep. He has so much upside, but he needs to be fully healthy to see that work. You're probably going to have to start Waddle if you have him in a lot of places for other people, but now I think you can still chase the Ramondre. It's possible he gets a 65% snap share, and if he does against Chicago, he probably gets in the end zone. So, go with Ramondre.
Brandon Phillips, new Snap Army member. Let's do a quick browse through the chat for some more Snap Army questions. We've got Dak or Herbert. I'd be playing Herbert this week.
I would too. Dak has a great matchup coming off that injury. I think you just sit him, and if he has a big game, Brandon, you look to flip him, because I think Herbert long-term is the way you want to go, and you don't need 2 elite, quote-unquote elite quarterbacks on your team.
Yeah, doing a scroll through, no other Snap Army members. No. So once they get in here, we'll give them priority. Paz, Kenyon Drake, or Gus for the rest of the season? I would take Gus.
Yeah, Gus rest of season, Paz. I think we answered your question after you asked it.
Sup, Diggs? Missing a bunch of starters. Who to play? Full PPR. Robinson Jr. Wait, what? Robinson Jr. Oh, Brian Robinson. Gordon, Herbert, Woods, Claypool, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, flex, Dylan, Mooney, and Valdez-Scantling. Ooh, boy. Yeah. Okay, so full PPR. I mean, Brian Robinson, Melvin Gordon, Khalil Herbert, Robert Woods, Chase Claypool.
I think I go Robert Woods for a bounce back. If I need one running back, 1 receiver.
I would play AJ Dillon over probably all those guys, no?
I think we did see, although we weren't impressed, Brian Robinson got the work, right?
He did.
And he's probably expected to keep getting the work.
And the Packers are awful on the ground.
Correct. So Brian Robinson is my running back start for that list.
I mean, Robert Woods has been really disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably just play Chase Claypool
after that big game.
Yeah. I guess it's Robinson Jr. and Claypool, but I would be so tempted to just like drop Khalil Herbert, pick up AJ Dillon as well.
Yeah. Khalil Herbert's just a really good handcuff. Like, we know if Monty goes down,
AJ Dillon's involved.
Yeah, and he's also like really good handcuff. So like, and Packers in theory should be the better team. Should. When are those that background going to change to the Buffalo Bills, Mac? That's what I want to know.
Stop. Full PPR start Debo or DK?
Oh, geez, what a start them both, man. Start them both.
If you had to choose, gun to your head.
If I had to choose, I think I go Debo.
Debo.
Yeah.
Do I add Tyler Lockett into my starting lineup? Currently have Mike Evans and CeeDee Lamb with Olave already playing. Nope. You're good to go, dude.
You're good to go, Alan.
Gary, Swift is killing me too, man. Having to fire up Foreman, Dubs, or Pickens in a half PPR. 3, 2, 1. Dubs.
Yeah, sorry. I was reading Brandon going to the bottom of the chat. But yes,
okay.
Dubs is the start.
Mike Evans or Jalen Waddle in a full PPR at wide receiver 2 with Debo at the 1. Flex is filled with Eckler. Will Waddle play? I think your question there, Finn, like will Waddle play, just points us into who's going to be playing, and that's Mike Evans for sure, 100%.
Such
so
a good match
we're just gonna,
Carolina.
Yeah, we're just gonna go with Mike Evans.
I think again, I know we've been a huge fan of Chris Godwin. I think Godwin has a big bounce back game this week, and he establishes himself as like a rest of season wide receiver 1. I think no matter what, Mike Evans is going to be great. He's an every week start, but I just want to remind everyone we will get to your questions. We answer every single question today, but toss a like on the video. We're at 20 likes. Let's get up to 50 by the end of the stream. It's 12 o'clock Eastern. We're on for another hour, guys. We get to every single question, but a like goes a long way. If you cannot wait around, toss a super chat in there and we'll get to your question right away.
Deontay Cook, Sutton, pick one, full PPR.
Oh boy, Sutton with a backup quarterback
is not
Deontay
great.
with Pickens, or Kenny Pickett. I mean, I would go Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks 1, Deontay 2, Sutton 3. I put Deontay over Cortland Sutton slightly in a full PPR just for the potential volume.
Good matchup against the Jets. I mean, they're actually now that not a good matchup.
Not a good matchup. Jets have been good, man.
In theory, and that corner they drafted has been elite. He'll be on Sutton all game.
Getting saucy.
So
is Bateman in? Question mark. Yes, Bateman is in today. Bateman or Njoku for the flex. I would just go Bateman.
I'd go Bateman. I was going to say Bateman is in your starting lineup as well, I think.
Bateman, DJ Moore, or Chase Claypool at the flex. I'd also play Bateman.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good one. James Robinson or Isaiah Pacheco. Probably just go James Robinson here.
I would go James Robinson just in hopes. So Kyle actually joined us or he commented on our YouTube channel, and I just said, yo, we're going live, so we'll be able to talk about it. I would also go James Robinson. Yes, the Chiefs are a better team, but James Robinson has shown that he can get that work and be elite, and he can get 2 goal line touchdowns, and that's just, and you're shaking your head at James Robinson where you don't know when to start or sit him or drop him.
The question I have is, when are we going to learn about over-analyzing, overhyping Kansas City Chiefs running backs because they play for the Kansas City Chiefs?
I think until they trade for an actual elite running back, they offer the Giants the world and get Saquon Barkley or something. And not that would ever happen, but unless they actually trade for a guy like Zeke for whatever reason. And yeah, I think we just wait for that because they have a bunch of mediocre guys right now.
In a league, I have Zach Ertz and George Kittle, and every week I panic between the two. I need to trade one, but I don't know which one.
So I think we have some discussions in the chat with you trade Zach Ertz because Hopkins is back, and I think that's probably the way to go. You should have probably traded Ertz while he was still on his heater. Now it might be a little bit more difficult.
The downside to trading Zach Ertz is no one wants to buy Zach Ertz because he doesn't have the name value that George Kittle does.
Right.
So the question is, how much can you get for George Kittle, who has a name but isn't necessarily
that positional advantage that you want?
He's not really producing for you. So if you looked at, what could I get for the maximum value? You're going to get more value for George Kittle over Zach Ertz because of who he is and what he has accomplished over his career. I'm fine with Ertz. I think you get more for George Kittle.
I think that's a great way to say it. Tight ends besides Andrews and Kelsey are volatile. We know that Kittle is not going to produce every single week. He's just not that guy, not with Garoppolo and not with McCaffrey. So if Kittle has a big game this week, which I think he will, you trade him and trade him for a lot, and then you get a position like a running back or wide receiver, and you just start Zach Ertz week in and week out, and on the bye week you pick up a random guy that hope for a touchdown, like a Noah Fant or whatever.
I mean, like Zach Ertz is the tight end 3 on the year. George Kittle's the tight end 23. I know he missed 2 games, but even on a per game basis, Zach Ertz is outscoring him. So
yeah,
George Kittle coming off a decent performance, I think he's an easy trade candidate. But I think in the aggregate, you would win because is Kittle going to outscore Ertz rest of season by a ton? Probably not. But what you could get for Kittle and add that to your lineup on a weekly basis, it's probably more than Kittle over Ertz. So I would just
I like
go that way.
Good call.
Traded Goddard for Waller, starting Tonyan until he's back. We'll pour one out for you, Drew. That's a tough one,
good luck, Drew. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
That's the same example. That's the identical example where you should have just traded Waller. He has the bigger name. Goddard was producing.
PPR league, start 1, Keenan Allen, Najee Harris, Jamal Williams, Deontay Foreman, Amari Cooper. Just one?
I would start
either Jamal Williams or Amari Cooper for me.
Correct. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It's really close. In a full PPR league, I think Amari has a better game.
Probably close.
Yeah. We have
Geno Smith or Tom Brady.
We have a super chat.
We have a super chat.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon or Antonio Gibson. Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
I'll direct this one.
Yeah. Can we just give you your money back?
Yeah. Where's the refund button?
Yeah. I appreciate you coming in. I appreciate the super chat. I think it's got to be AJ Dillon.
Agreed.
Antonio Gibson looked better in his touches than Robinson did last week, but we think the Commanders are committed to giving Robinson more work. So yes, the coach said after that they need to get Gibson the rock more, but I just don't think that happens. That's just the Commanders are just a franchise you just can't trust. The Packers, although they've been looking terrible, AJ Dillon, I think, still has the talent and the ability to break one off, get on the goal line and get a touchdown. I really, really hope that the Packers can turn it around basically just for Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Those are the two best players on the team. They need to get them the rock. They need to get them more work. AJ Dillon can't even catch the football. So I do think that if they don't do it this week, I mean, you can almost drop AJ Dillon. He's a handcuff right now. If he doesn't get the serious work against Washington, it's the same matchup. I think you just really, really hope that AJ Dillon has a big game and it's all on the ground.
The way I look at it is like both of these teams are very average against the run. The Packers are not as bad from a fantasy points perspective against running backs. They're 15th. The Commanders are 17th, giving up the most points. But the big difference in this game, the Green Bay Packers are the 6th toughest matchup for fantasy wide receivers, only allowing 22.7 a game, whereas the Commanders are the 6th worst, allowing almost 34 points per game. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a ton to throw at, but AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones, both very capable wide receivers. We see Aaron Jones lined up as a wide receiver multiple times a game in packages that they run. So I do think that if Aaron Jones potentially plays out wide a little bit more, AJ Dillon could work as the primary back. And I do like the Packers to bounce back and score today. So I would go AJ Dillon just for the mere fact that Antonio Gibson could literally just be game scripted out or just not get the volume that he is deserving of, in my opinion. So I would just go Dillon. Yeah.
Good luck, my man. We wish you the best of luck with that one.
Geno Smith or Tom Brady?
I'm going Tom Brady. I think Mad Tom Brady is a guy that you want to start. And in a very good matchup against Carolina, I think they could score 45 points.
I think he's a little pissed off because people asking, "Hey man, are you gonna hang him up?" It's like, well, are you calling me washed? Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, he says he has no plans to retire anytime soon. Yeah. And now he doesn't have a wife to go back to. So I mean, heck, why not?
We've got Ryan Chapman coming in with the super chat here. Start 1.5 PPR. Bateman coming off injury. Montgomery, bad matchup. Plus head coach. We're going to ride the hot hand. Wandell for the upside. I'm going to start Bateman.
Yeah, I'm gonna close my eyes and just trust Bateman is fully back healthy. He missed quite a few games, and we know he's got that upside. So Ryan, if let us know while we answer your question if you're projected to lose or win, because I think that does kind of matter. Bateman, I think, is the way to go regardless. But yeah, I do like Wandell as well. So it's a nice add. We talked about last week on the stream that you should be adding Wandell Robinson, and this week
Yeah.
he was the #1 waiver add. So yeah, I would go Bateman. I still think he's got a ton of upside. They need him desperately. I did a video on Bateman this week, and just Andrews can't be the only guy there. And Duvernay ain't it. He's not that good of a player. So Bateman is who I would go with there. Montgomery, I'm only starting if I'm desperate. And then Wandell Robinson. He's an upside play too, but he's just not quite as talented to me as Rashad Bateman. And the offense, I think, is better with the Ravens as well.
Ryan expected to lose by 9 points.
Okay.
I then still think the play is Bateman.
Yeah.
You don't need the safe game. You need the Rashad Bateman that's going to give you a 50-yard touchdown like he has in previous weeks twice.
Yeah.
So the big playability is there.
Yeah, Montgomery's probably projected for 9-10 points, and that's all he's going to get.
And New England's just such a tough matchup against a team that struggles to move the ball through the air.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, great question, Ryan. I think Bateman's the play, brother.
Yep.
Mark Hill coming in with a $5 super chat. Pick 2 in a full PPR: McLaurin, Ayuk, Claypool, Samuel, Zay Jones.
Holy. What do you do with Terry McLaurin, man? I mean, he's been now with Heineke at quarterback. It's
that, you know what though? That's a good thing. I've seen the splits. The splits with Heineke, without Heineke is in favor of Terry McLaurin.
I tend to agree. So, and you're chasing the Ayuk, you're chasing that upside now or chasing the last week. I mean, now with the McCaffrey in the mix. I mean, you have two guys. You have Ayuk and Claypool that had big games last week.
Mm-hmm.
And can you trust McLaurin, who hasn't really had a big game, over those two guys? It's a tough question from Mark.
It is. And you've got sorry, I just got to come back to the stream here. You've got Curtis Samuel in there as well. And it's like, if I'm picking a wide receiver between McLaurin and Samuel, who's going to draw the coverage of Jair Alexander? That's the true question here. And I would like to think it's McLaurin.
I would like to think it's McLaurin as well. Yeah.
So, does Heineke have eyes for Samuel? We don't
know yet.
But Jahan Dotson is still out.
Yep.
So it will be McLaurin and Samuel. I'm going to lean Samuel over McLaurin if I have to pick one. And then I would also probably play Brandon Ayuk over Zay Jones and Chase Claypool. So I think the answer here is McLaurin and Ayuk, but you could be talked into, Samuel and Ayuk, but you could be talked into McLaurin as well. But I would personally go Samuel. The only reason, Samuel gets the ball out of the backfield a couple times a game, and Green Bay really poor at defending those end around runs. So maybe Samuel can be the difference maker there, but I would probably just go Samuel.
Yeah, and Samuel Ayuk. And don't go with two commanders. You got to pick you got to kind of, it's almost a flip a coin, right? Between McLaurin and Samuel, who gets the touchdown. We do think that Samuel's going to get more touches. So in a full PPR league, that could lean to the Samuel side.
Agreed.
Love it. Good question. Really good question.
That's a tough question, though. But Paz, should I give up on Michael Thomas and drop him for Rashad Bateman?
Oh, boy. Yeah, probably.
The thing with Michael Thomas is, how long are we going to do this game where he's out every single week?
Mm-hmm.
And you just can't drop him or move on from him because he's Michael Thomas. If you get 2 to 3 games with Bateman before Thomas is back, you won.
Yeah.
If Thomas comes back, there's no guarantee that he is the primary target because Olave has been the primary target. Like we've seen 3 or 4 games now of double-digit targets with Chris Olave healthy, and Michael Thomas still struggling to get back on the field. So, I mean, Michael Thomas's bigger games in the beginning of the year were very touchdown dependent. You know, he scored 2 touchdowns in that first game back. I don't know, man. I'd probably just move on from MT if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. And you know what? He doesn't have any trade value. Nobody wants Michael Thomas right now. He's old and washed, where Bateman He is a guy that has a ton of value. He's got that young guy. I'm making videos about him, telling you should trade for him, you should start him. His value, regardless if he has a good or bad game this week, he's still going to maintain value. So you could trade him away because people want this guy. People are excited about Bateman and his potential and what he did early. And he's young. Michael Thomas is just washed and old. So as a value perspective, yeah, grab Bateman. Why not?
Wow. Thanks for the super chats, guys. Appreciate it. Put a like on this video if you appreciated that analysis. Let's get back to scheduled programming. We got a ton of questions here, Landon. We're gonna have to go double time here.
You got it.
ETN or Christian McCaffrey? I'm willing to take a shot on Christian McCaffrey.
McCaffrey as well for me.
Bateman or Gallup?
I think Gallup.
Oof. It's a tough one. CMC or Tannehill at the super flex?
Oh, you should be able to start CMC somewhere else there, Logan. I would go Tannehill.
Yeah. Unless you're in a league like we are where quarterbacks get -1 for incompletions, I would start Tannehill.
Right.
Missing starters because of the bye week. Need a running back 2. Deonta Foreman, Kenyon Drake, Rachaad White, Gus Edwards is in free agency.
This is the dreaded question, Ben. This is the tough one because none of them are good starters.
No, I mean, at this point, Kenyon Drake or Gus Edwards this week, you probably have to just lean Kenyon Drake a little bit, but
right.
Anything could happen there. Deonta Foreman is now apparently the complement to Chuba Hubbard. I still don't really believe in that. Foreman's going to get those goal line looks over Hubbard, you'd have to think. So I would just go Foreman and Kenyon Drake. But long term, I would stash Gus Edwards. Rachaad White, I don't think he can start.
Yeah, I think Rachaad White's a great stash, but you're really just holding out hope. So I agree with Mac. Let's keep going.
Keenan Allen. Are we playing him?
If he starts, I'll play him.
Okay. Pick 2, Jamal Williams, CMC, Stevenson.
Ooh.
Give me Jamal and CMC.
Jamal and CMC, Michael.
The thing is, I know that CMC will get some high value touches that he'll probably capitalize on, and Stevenson with Harris back against the Bears, I could still see him being great, but it would be such a different answer if Harris wasn't returning.
Correct. Oh, sorry. We're both working on it. You touch it. I won't touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch the questions. Williams, Stevenson, Aaron Jones in a full PPR. I'm going to sit Stevenson down there again.
Yeah, me too. I think it's such a risky fade with how good he's been, but
he's been great. I just don't like the fact that Harris is back.
You can't. What we know through the years of fantasy, guys, it's very hard to trust New England and Bill Belichick and how they use their running backs.
Yeah, very true, Monkey. Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb combo this week is looking really, really nice.
That is good. There's some gross ones.
We already got this one.
Yes, we talked. He super chatted afterwards.
Yes. ETN, Montgomery, Pacheco in a PPR pick 1. I'll go with Travis Etienne.
I will as well.
Bucks D or Pats D?
Pats.
I'm going Bucks.
All right.
Give me all of Sam Darnold, please and thank you.
He's not even playing, is he? It's still PJ Walker?
Yeah, or PJ Walker. Give me all of both of them.
Yeah.
Start 2 in a full PPR, Deontay, Alec Pierce, Garrett Wilson.
Deontay and Garrett for me.
Yeah, I will do that as well, even though Alec Pierce is very tempting.
Yeah, with Elijah Moore out, I think Garrett Wilson gets some targets again. Not that Elijah Moore was getting the targets.
Yeah. But need one flex in a full PPR, Amari Cooper, Juju Smith-Schuster, or Zeke.
I'll go Zeke Amari. Zeke, then Amari.
Zeke, Amari, then Juju. I tend to agree. I think in a full PPR, I would lean Amari Cooper. But we do know that Zach, I just literally read something on my phone. We know that Dak prefers to check it down to his guy. So we could see a boost. Zeke's pass catching work so far has been very, very disappointing. So I'll probably go Cooper over Zeke, but it's really close.
Yeah.
up big with Hopkins and Eno
Love
balling out on Thursday. Need a flex. Got Bateman, Montgomery, CEH, and Pacheco. Also have Keenan Allen, who's a game time decision. If we're playing for safety here, Montgomery and CEH are okay options. I would probably just roll Montgomery.
Yeah, Montgomery
for safety.
Yeah, he's I feel like he's guaranteed 8 fantasy points, but then the Bateman play he could finish with 3 to 14. Yeah, like
right. Yeah, like he could go through this game with like a handful of targets and no receptions.
Yep.
Whereas Montgomery's going to get 12 to 15 looks, probably no questions asked. So
yeah, a couple targets through the air, a couple checkdowns.
It's nice to know, Eric. It's nice to have that context though, because I would probably just say Bateman here, or Keenan Allen. But like if you were down, I would say, if Keenan Allen plays, you play him. But with this news of you having a huge lead, you just go Montgomery for the 7 to 8 guaranteed points.
He could break a big 25-yard touchdown, and then you're laughing.
Alec Pierce or George Pickens. I would go Alec Pierce.
I would as well.
Need a flex and a quarterback: Pacheco, Murray, Chuba, Carter, Gibson, or Garrett Wilson. Rodgers or Pickett.
Garrett Wilson, I guess, for me, and then Aaron Rodgers for me as well.
Yeah, I would.
I don't feel a ton of confidence with Garrett Wilson, but I do see the range of outcomes where he has a good game again.
Yep. Wilson and Rodgers. Jeff Wilson or Tyler Algier. I'll let you handle this one.
I'll go Tyler Algier. Gross.
I got McCaffrey, but hard decision is Alec Pierce or DeAndre Swift. Dalton. DeAndre Swift is out today.
Out. Yeah.
So that decision is made for you. Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams. Already have Eno Benjamin and Chris Olave in the flex April.
I'm going
flexing those muscles.
Jamal Williams.
Over Aaron Jones? Wow. Oh my, that's a hot one.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how you said Aaron Jones against the Commanders, but
yeah, I mean, you're not wrong for sure. You want to be right. Like I think my rankings would say Aaron Jones higher, but I mean, he has not been good. I'm very disappointed with Aaron Jones and the Packers, to be honest.
Rest of season, keep one, cut one. Russell Wilson or Jared Goff. I'm cutting. I had already cut Russell Wilson 3 weeks ago. I cut him. Yeah. I picked up Jared Goff. I picked up, who else did I pick up? Daniel Jones. I'm over Russell Wilson.
Yeah, go Jared Goff, better quarterback.
Foreman or Latavius now with Hubbard as the starter.
Well, Melvin is also the starter, Jerome.
Yeah.
So
I would still go Deonta Foreman.
I'll just close my eyes and go Foreman as well, even in a tough matchup.
Pick 2.5 PPR, Najee, B-Rob, Gallup. That's gross.
I would go Najee and Gallup.
Yeah. I don't like either of those. Start 2, Claypool, Woods, Gallup. Claypool and Gallup. I mean, Woods has just been so disappointing.
Yeah, I would go Woods, Gallup and Woods.
First timer here, definitely be returning. Appreciate you, Monkey. Lots of questions from you today and chatter.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Yeah, banter in the chat is awesome.
Join the Discord.
Snap Army member. Weekly gross question from our guy, Chris Timmons. Rippin or Fields in a 2 QB league?
I would go Fields.
Still going Fields, yeah.
Yeah, just with a baseline of rushing and it. I don't know if when we saw Rippin play, I mean, he was terrible.
Yeah, he was like 19 of 36 for 187 yards or something like that. Yeah. It wasn't great. I went back and actually looked at it today. It was one game last year.
Yeah.
CMC or Mooney or Foreman start 1. Yeah, like Mooney against the Patriots, it's not a game script that I love. And then Foreman, I already said at the top of the show, I'm going CMC over the Denver, New England, and Carolina trios.
Yeah. What's up to everyone coming in here new? DMB, Richie Rich, Tyler. Make sure to toss a like on the video. We appreciate you. Austin Grant also has a super chat. Let's jump to him real quick. Oh, and same with Robert Martin. We missed a couple.
Oh my. Okay, hold on. Sorry, fellas. Robert Martin. Start Lazard over Stevenson or Mostert at the flex in a full PPR.
I'm
I
still
would.
gonna trust Stevenson here then.
Over Lazard.
Yeah.
Interesting. Why?
Just, I suppose there's a world where Harris really isn't that involved. He's coming off a serious injury that we thought was going to keep him out multiple weeks, even though he practiced in full. Stevenson was just so good that maybe they just stick with him full time, or at least like a 70-30 split or 65-30 split. I think Stevenson still gets it done. Lazard has been pretty good, but I mean, it's not the elite running back that Stevenson has been in a really good matchup. So I'm just going to trust the hot hand of Stevenson. And now I think there's Watkins is back. Dubs is playing. I mean, you said that Aaron Jones has been a receiver, so I just find it hard to trust Lazard. I don't know what it is.
Last 3 weeks, Allen Lazard, 8 targets, 9 targets, no touchdown. So he's got a combined 27. Sorry, that's bad math. 25 targets, 2 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. When it comes down to the goal line, Aaron Rodgers does look Lazard's way, I think, over anybody else. So if we're just looking here for a touchdown, I do like Lazard's chances. I know that he, among all other factors, will be a primary look. Will Stevenson have a majority of the carries, an equal amount of carries, lesser carries than Harris? Like, we don't know. But I do, based on the last 3 weeks as a trend, do see Allen Lazard leading this team in targets again. So I'm going to go with Lazard, but I understand the Stevenson love.
Yeah.
Should I trade Kupp for Adams or Mixon and Mostert? Depends on your situation, Austin.
I'm not trying to trade for Mostert right now. Austin, I would trade Adams or Kupp for Adams and Mixon. I would do that.
Well,
then
yeah,
you get two studs, of course. But I would. I'm just not into Mostert. I just think he's a flex play and doesn't have any value, doesn't have any trade value. So for Kupp and Adams straight up, I'll just keep Cooper Kupp.
He's also got an injury history. Not that that's something that we're forecasting, but it's a possibility for him. So, Kupp and Adams, there's an argument where they could be seen as, somewhat equals in terms of opportunity. Adams is getting a massive target share as well. If you need running back help, I suppose this isn't a terrible time to make that trade, but the
Adams
beauty
this week is going to be really good. Adams is like he should be a top 3 wide receiver this week. If you need a win this week,
this was going to be my point, is if you have this trade available to you right now, 30 minutes before game time, I don't mind making the trade, because then you don't have to stomach having Cooper Kupp gone for a week. If you were to make this trade next week, I wouldn't make the trade because you've already gone past Cooper Kupp's bye week. So moving forward,
and Adams has done his bye week as well. So
yeah. So that's the thing, is right now you could pull the trigger on this trade and not have to deal with a bye week from either of these guys and keep that wide receiver 1 slot just plentiful.
If you could get a little bit better at the running back position than Mostert, I think it'd be closer. But yeah, I don't mind Mac's reasoning behind that. So thanks for everyone coming in. We have a lot of new guys in here. We have Finn, Tyler, welcome in, Ryan Temps. Toss a like on the video. Appreciate y'all. We will get to your questions. We got so many guys. We're
working away here, grinding. Yeah. Start to in a full PPR. Cooper, Williams, Jalen Waddle. I'm just gonna sit Jalen Waddle down as much as it sucks.
Sitting Waddle as well, so speak.
Yeah. I think we just got Austin's, but we'll come back to Austin's. Gibson and Hubbard starting. Should I keep them or add Algier, Burkhead, or Reynolds from free agency? No, I'd keep what you got.
Yeah, keep what you got. It's fine. I like Algier as a stash, but I mean, we will see that Patterson will be back.
Pick for the flex in a full PPR: Claypool, Hunter Renfrow, or Gerald Everett. Man, in terms of volume, Gerald Everett could get the most volume of this list.
Yeah, I mean, Renfrow is banged up. He's coming off a bit of an injury, so if he could be limited again. I thought he was going to miss this game, but he looks like he is going to play. That leads some volatility. He could play a couple snaps and be out again, Adam. So that's where it's a little bit tough. If Keenan Allen is out, I think Gerald Everett's even better of a play. I really like him in that scenario. And then I'm fine starting Claypool then. So, yeah, I usually
Claypool or Everett?
Claypool. Go with the wide receiver over the tight end.
Okay. Mooney, Bateman, or Josh Reynolds as the flex in a full PPR?
Bateman.
I would go Bateman.
Bateman, Avery.
Lazard, Stevenson, Mostert.
We did this one, didn't we?
I think we did. Was it the same person, though?
Pretty close. Matt goes Lazard, I go Stevenson.
Right. Yeah. Close. Yeah. That's just... Oh, it was. It was literally Robert Martin super chat. Yes.
Right. Yes.
Jamal Williams or David Montgomery in a full PPR? Jamal.
Yeah.
Gallup, Boyd, Cooks in a standard scoring league. Who's going to have the most yardage here between the three, Cooks and Gallup?
It's between those two for me. So pick two. Yeah. So those two. Yeah. Sit down, Boyd. You missed one here. We got DJ Who. I'll put it up here. Foreman, Pacheco, or Dubs in the flex. I'm going Dubs. Yeah. And then Dylan as well. We got DJ Moore or Garrett Wilson in a full PPR Mac.
I'll go Garrett Wilson.
I'll try. I like Garrett Wilson. I'm starting him in one of my leagues. I'll be hoping for y'all as well, Dylan.
Jeez Louise. Okay.
Now you're up.
You took me off my spot twice here. I think we're here.
Yes.
Okay. Ayuk or Drake? I'll go Ayuk.
Ayuk as well.
Bateman, Renfro, Dylan, or Josh Reynolds?
Bateman.
Agreed. I would order them Bateman, Dylan, end of list.
Sure. JT popping off, Mac. Is he going to pop off?
Yes, he's going to pop.
He's a great trade for candidate. Maybe we need to do a video about him if he has a mediocre game on Tuesday. So we'll wait for those videos if it happens.
I read an article from a Colts beat reporter that Jonathan Taylor made a decision last week to sit.
Yeah,
he probably could have played, but he decided that he was going to take the week off. So,
and I think that's the right call because we wouldn't have wanted him to get re-injured. So I think now that he's back in theory fully healthy, it's going to be good for fantasy going forward.
It's also very rare for a fantasy running back to play a complete season. So if you had to miss 2 games of the season, when would it be?
Yeah, now would be a great time.
Yeah, it just sucks that his bye week is week 14.
Yes, it does.
Dak or Trevor Lawrence? I will be optimistic with Dak.
Yeah, I'm going Dak off the injury. Tyler, I agree. Even Dak off that injury, I'm a big fan. I'm thinking Dak's a top 10 guy this week.
Bateman, Sutton, DeAndre Carter start 2 in a full PPR.
Bateman and DeAndre Carter.
God, it just hurts.
I need to just go ahead and take Sutton out of any lineup I have right now.
I'm not willing to start DeAndre Carter over him. I will go Bateman Sutton.
Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Tyler Boyd or Cutie Samuel. Ooh, that's a new spin on it.
I'm going Cutie.
I'll go Cutie as well. Mike Evans or Jalen Waddle in a full PPR. Mike Evans, no question.
Finn, I don't know how we. Good thing you put all those lights, or else we would have missed your question.
Tyler, is Pacheco actually worth a start this week, or just a good pickup going forward?
Good pickup going forward.
Do you want to start Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Nope. Then
you don't want to start Isaiah Pacheco either.
Right.
Is Melvin Gordon worth keeping at this point? Chris, let's see how this week plays out. Melvin Gordon's hilarious, though. I got to say that. I don't know if you guys saw the interview, but there was a reporter in the locker room that was asking him about the questions after the game. And, he was very disappointed, blah, blah, blah. Then the same reporter comes back a couple days later after Nathaniel Hackett goes, yeah, Melvin Gordon's our starter. And Melvin Gordon responds to, well, I was the starter last week.
I know. I know.
So, yes, he should be worth keeping. No, you shouldn't drop him. No, you shouldn't start him.
Yeah, that's about right. I just got a report that Gus Edwards lined up with the first team this week. So Mack has been against Kenyon Drake going forward, despite his good game, and now this just backs that up. That Gus Edwards is probably going to be the one to own long term. So if Gus Edwards is available on your waiver wire still, I doubt he is. Pick him up. You can drop a guy like Rashad White or all those guys in favor of Gus Edwards. I think that's the guy you want to own.
Yeah, for sure. Mike Will or Alan Lazard at the flex in a full PPR. Mike Williams. Yeah.
He should be in a great spot. Even I think Keenan Allen could be limited, even though I said that you should start him if he's active. Mike Williams, he's a roller coaster guy. You have to start him each and every week, regardless of anything, man. You just got to start him.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Greetings from Stuart across the pond.
What's up,
I remember he's in England.
Yeah.
Question 1 of 2. Eagles bye week. Always going to be an issue for me. Picked up the Cardinals defense. Nice pickup.
Love that.
Have Brady in. Ryan Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence are available. 2 of 2.
Yep.
Henry Chubb, Walker at running back, even though ETN is available as free agent. Wide receiver Williams starts, but got Mooney, Davis, and Deontay Johnson.
Drop Mooney right now and add Travis
Etienne. Yes.
Yeah.
You beat me to it. 100%. Drop Darnell Mooney. Go get Travis Etienne.
Or drop one of your quarterbacks, like Matt Ryan. Like drop Matt Ryan too. Like
no, he said are available.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, and I wouldn't play Ryan Daniel Jones or Trevor Lawrence over Brady.
No, you starting Brady this week. I think
correct.
This is the week where he can bounce back against Carolina. Come on.
But yes, right now, go drop Darnell Mooney and get yourself some Travis Etienne.
Yes, love that. Thanks, Stu. Appreciate you.
How much are we elevating Jamal Williams with DeAndre Swift out? Cowboys matchup still looks tough. I've got Lazard at wide receiver 2, Brandon Cooks in the flex. I'm playing Jamal Williams as if he's a running back 1 this week.
Yeah, I think he should be. Like I've gone on record. I think about was it Williams over Aaron Jones for me? Either way,
yes, it was, which is still crazy, certifiably crazy. I'm just gonna say that now.
Yeah, so we're elevating Jamal Williams up because he's gonna get all the work like he's been getting, and that's very valuable.
Yeah, sorry, I have to go in my lineups now and do all of the swaps for.
Yeah, I can help you out here while you do that.
Yeah, thanks.
McLaurin or Bateman PPR. I'm gonna go Bateman when he's back. So. Yes, Monkey D is saying that Bateman's going to pop off. I tend to agree. I'm hoping so as well. I'm a big Bateman fan. Full PPR, Kenyon Drake or AJ Dillon. Also, Pitts or Freiermuth. I have Drake, Pitts starting currently. So the report Boss Man I just kind of said is that Gus Edwards is going to get the first team work. So it's going to be split backfield between both of your options, Dillon and Kenyon Drake. So the upside play, who does Baltimore play again? I just am having a brain fart. Cleveland. So yes. I mean, both the Commanders and the Browns have a pretty susceptible defense to the run. So I think AJ Dillon for me. Just bet on the talent of AJ Dillon over Kenyon Drake. Pitts or Freiermuth, Mac. Are you gonna trust Kyle Pitts to get in the end zone again?
I'll put Pitts in over Freiermuth.
Freiermuth is coming off that concussion, so I just am a little bit concerned with him. If he goes down, he could be mush again. Pacheco, Foreman, or Dubs full PPR. I'm going to go with the wide receiver Dubs. I think he gets the targets. Giraffe, Pacheco or Pollard. I'm going to go Pollard. I think Pollard has a pretty good game. They're in a really good matchup against Detroit.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Yeah. Chris Timmons coming in here. One more, guys. Keenan Allen or Jacoby Myers, full PPR. What time is the Chargers game?
I got that right in front of me right now. That game is 4:25 Eastern Standard Time.
So we'll know more. If Keenan Allen plays, I'm going to play him over Jacoby. Oh, man, that's tough. Jacoby gets so many targets in a good matchup.
Why do I have DeAndre Swift in so many leagues? This is so painful.
Mac is spending half an hour changing all of his lineups. I'll go Jacoby for the floor play, Chris, and just hopefully Keenan Allen plays a full complement of snaps. But I thought he was going to be out this week. They have a bye week next week, and I just thought he was going to be out. So I don't know if I don't know if he's on the field that much. Adam, pick one for the flex. Curtis Samuel, Drake London, Alec Pierce. Thanks, boys. Appreciate you, Adam. I'm going to go Curtis Samuel, I think, over Drake London. It's close.
Ooh. I would probably go Drake London over.
He's a
Samuel.
Better talent.
Green Bay's just such a tough matchup for wide receivers.
Yeah, I'll go London. I think
they're giving up the 6th fewest points to opposing fantasy wide receivers.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do so today against Taylor Heineke. Yeah. So
they do one thing right so far. The Green Bay Packers are good at one thing, and it's that.
And it's they've only picked corners and safeties for the last 5 years.
Dak or Tua? I'm going Dak. DMB. You back or you want me to keep going?
Sorry, I got one more thing to do. I will go Dak.
Yep. I had to drop Melvin, just didn't have space. All depends. Okay, we were talking. Boss. Yeah. So didn't know Gus was taking first team reps.
Mm-hmm.
And then what does everyone think about Deonta Foreman versus AJ Dillon?
I would go Dillon there.
Yeah, I think we hear now that Chuba's going to start as well. I think it's going to be really split in that backfield, and it's not a good matchup. So I don't think you can really trust Foreman.
The news of Chuba being the starter doesn't really change things for me of how I feel about Foreman. At the end of the day, it's like, can I trust the Carolina Panthers offense to do anything with the football? And the answer is no. Whereas the Green Bay Packers against the Commanders, I do hold higher hopes for. So yeah, I'll just go with the better offense if I'm, looking at second options in the running back department. So yeah, I'll go Dillon.
I have a league that I had Dalvin on bye and at J.K. Dobbins, and I have to decide between Deonta Foreman, Latavius Murray, and like a bunch of scrubs like Rachaad White and Jaylen Warren. Right now, I've got Foreman, and my team's really good. Might not matter, but I've got Foreman starting right now versus Tampa. Don't know.
I mean, it's a coin flip in those scenarios.
Yeah. Maybe I'll switch it to Latavius Murray with a bad quarterback that doesn't pass the football.
Start 3. MPJ, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Dameon Pierce.
Ooh. So Michael Pittman and CD are for sure in for me. It just depends on Amon-Ra or Dameon Pierce, Mac.
Dameon Pierce has been so solid.
I know.
Over the last couple of weeks, just the amount of touches that he's getting is fantastic. Yep. Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, you got to think he's going to draw a little bit of Trayvon Diggs, but probably not a ton. He'll get away from him in the slot.
Yeah, Amon-Ra was start off the season so good.
I think as tempting as it is to want to play Amon-Ra, I just don't see how you get away from Dameon Pierce after the volume he's had the last 3 weeks. So I probably sit Amon-Ra down and play Dameon Pierce.
Cool. I like it.
It's tough, man. That's
JGG has been in the comments a lot. So I appreciate you supporting all of our content and then coming by for the live as well.
Hell yeah. Austin Grant, one more question. 49ers or Bengals for the starting defense this week?
I don't really want to play the 49ers. They're banged up, but it's a good matchup. Right?
Bengals play the Jets. I would probably just go with the Bengals.
Yeah, I would probably do that too. It's tough
Neither?
Yeah. Yeah, 49ers play Kansas City. No chance.
Yeah.
Neither are good though. I would want to
who's going to make a mistake? Zach Wilson or Pat Mahomes?
Or sorry, it's Bengals versus Atlanta this week. No, is this last week?
No, that's last week.
That's last week.
Wait, maybe I got it wrong. I thought it was Bengals.
No, it's Bengals Atlanta this week.
Oh, even better.
Yeah,
give me that.
Bengals.
Give me the Bengals. Baby. Okay.
Dubs versus Kirk.
What do you guys think about Dubs versus Christian Kirk?
I'm just not a believer in Christian Kirk. I think I should be, but I'm just not. I'd probably go Kirk though.
I would play Kirk over Dubs.
Yeah.
Brendan says, "Hey guys, got to sit one: Pollard, Reynolds, or Zay Jones." You're sitting Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Looking at a weaker flex with buys in a full PPR, what do we think? Claypool, Pickens, or Reynolds?
I'd go Claypool over Pickens.
Claypool over Pickens, yeah. Reynolds not really I'm not really starting Reynolds anywhere.
He's not a consideration for me either.
No.
We are all up to date, Mac. We got Red Sox card collector in here. It'll show up on our thing real soon.
Jamal Williams or Aaron Jones. Landon, I'll let you handle it.
We have to. The thing is, just to keep our jobs, we need to go one of each because we can't.
Whoa! No, this one's on you. This one's on you.
Yeah. I unfortunately, Red Sox card collector. I'm gonna go with Jamal Williams. But if you look at Mac's background, you know his answer. I get it. I mean, it should be Aaron Jones. He should be ahead in almost all ranking services. Most services probably had DeAndre Swift starting this game, so maybe they're not even up to date yet with Jamal Williams. So, man, Aaron Jones has been so bad. He's had one good game. Green Bay Packers are just a bad team.
Okay. Let's just chill a little bit. Aaron Jones currently is the running back 14 on the season.
Okay. What's Jamal Williams
on the season? He's probably better, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Jamal 15.
And he's also missed a game.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No, I get it. Total opportunities. I just look at this matchup, man. The Commanders are just a really soft defense. They're going to give it up.
Yeah, I think this is the game that Aaron Jones actually does. He can break out. I'm hoping for it, man. I'm really hoping for it. But it's more of a hope. It's a hope and a prayer. I have Aaron Jones in the spot.
Non-related. Are we both Packers fans?
Negative. I am technically, Austin, a Vikings fan. So despite we're both NFC North rivals, but in previous years, I mean, the Vikings haven't been much of a rival for the Packers. But man, I have it doesn't ruin my day if the Vikings lose. I am more of a fantasy fan nowadays. Like I just love these. I want my fantasy players to do well. I could care less that if the Vikings win or lose.
I'm the opposite. I'm diehard Packers fan.
Yeah.
I guess maybe the question comes from, like the logo you have up beside your head. It kind of resembles a Packers logo. And funny enough, when I was creating the logo and the branding for our show, I did use the Packers logo as a template for the Snap Fantasy logo. So it is an S shaped like a football, built from the Packers G shape. That's how I kind of put everything together. So it's an S, it's a football, and it's a resemblance of the Packers logo. So if that's what you're making reference to, good eye.
Pretty soon, Mac is going to be a Bills fan.
No. I was joking about that last week.
My boy, War coming in. Thanks for coming by, War. Najee.
Horrendous question, though. I wish he didn't come by.
Or the Gus Bus. So last week, we went away from Brian Robinson and went with Najee Harris because we didn't know the workload of Brian Robinson. He got the touchdown. I apologize to War. Now he's got this question again. I love the Gus Bus as a stash, though.
You can't play him. You can't play him this week.
It's a very similar situation to last week with Brian Robinson. Yes, Gus could get a touchdown, but I want to see the splits first with Kenyon Drake.
As bad as we've been towards Najee, as down as we've been on him, I'm still going to play him over everybody in this list.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Stick with Najee. I wasn't impressed with Brian Robinson last week. He was an upright runner. He has a good matchup against Green Bay, And we like to see the workload, especially if you're Brian Robinson owner. But Najee has all the work too. Yeah, I'll go Najee.
I'm gonna assume this is Christian Kirk, but it's now Christina Kirk
Kurt.
or Jury Judy.
It's
like
going to
jury
be
duty.
Jury. um. Christopher. That's you can't trust Jerry Jeudy with Kyle Ripken.
Russell Wilson.
Or anybody for that matter. I heard rumors that they're going to trade Jerry Jeudy this week. They're getting calls on Jerry Jeudy because the Broncos are so bad.
I doubt they move him.
I agree, but I mean I agree. They shouldn't move him, but they could.
Let's get serious here. Jerry Jeudy with Ripken at quarterback or Christian Kirk. He's still rolling, doing his thing with Trevor Lawrence. I mean, what do you think?
Yep, Kirk.
I would go Kirk as well.
Yep.
Thanks for all the help, guys. Got my lineup set. Excited for these games. Yeah, hopefully week 7 is good. One thing I seen circulating this week is that touchdown scoring is down through 6 weeks, over 100 touchdowns across the NFL, which is, it explains a lot of what's happening in fantasy football this year.
It does.
Without the touchdowns, there's a lot of people that feel out of place so far in terms of overall fantasy finish. But
yep, it's ugly, but
we're doing our thing.
Either way, good luck, everyone. I'm gonna play some golf in a little bit. This is the first time I'm gonna miss football and play golf this afternoon, Max. It's the last game of the season.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm headed outside as well. I'll have my iPad with me. I'll be watching the games, but I'm gonna be finishing up the fence in the backyard. So just some really fun adulting things today.
Adulting, love it. Last question.
AJ Evans, Jeff Wilson, or David Montgomery? I'll go Montgomery.
Yeah, cannot start Jeff Wilson going forward. Pour one out if you thought he was going to be a steady starter.
Well, pour one out for last week too. That was our biggest miss of the week.
That's true. If it wasn't for that week, he might still be the starter. Whoops.
All right, guys. Good luck this week. Appreciate you coming by. If you haven't left a like on the video, consider doing so before you leave. We'll be going live again Wednesday for our normal pod, and then back next Sunday, every single week, 90 minutes before kickoff. And we'll see you guys there.
Yep.
Have a
good luck, everyone.